Welcome to Creating Connections Podcast, episode 132. I am Mitch Taylor.
And I'm Vicki Musney.
And today we're talking about Shake Mix. Shake Mix, iPhones, what do they have to do with you? More after the break.
That was nice and easy.
What are you talking about? This also speaks to a much bigger issue.
Providing personal solutions through understanding people. This is the Creating Connections Podcast with Gittimer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor and Certified Personality Trainer Vicki Musney.
All right, welcome back to the podcast. This is Creating Connections number 132. Who does number 2 work for? Shout out to our friend. Shout out to our friend Tommy.
Okay, focus.
Yeah,
stay with me.
All right. So today is kind of this is our rotation, if you will, of podcast. Today we're talking about personal stories.
Yeah, real life experience and how it relates to our event businesses.
So, Vicki, you got one, right?
I do. It's funny to me, the more I work with people and do training and sales coaching and that type of thing, the more hyper aware I am of how I buy and the decision process that I go through. Because how often do we hear people complain, or we see the rants in the different, Facebook event groups where people are saying, oh, I quoted my price to someone and they just said, that's ridiculous. No one should ever make, that many thousands of dollars for doing X, Y, Z, whether it's, an entertainer or a photographer or a videographer, it doesn't really matter.
Nope.
There seems to be a broad spectrum, and we've all seen it, whatever your niche is in the industry. We've all also experienced, if you are on the higher end of that pricing spectrum, those people that are just like, there's no way you should be making $5,000 for doing that or whatever it is.
Right.
And I found myself in a shopping conundrum recently because there was a product that I wanted, and I found myself saying, there is no way that should cost that much money. And I, through some different friends, was introduced to Arbonne over the years. And the first time I went was probably 8 years ago. And I was like, yeah, they look like great products, but they are clearly so out of my price range. I'm not interested. And it was a huge turnoff to me because their reaction was, oh, well, all you should actually do is just sign up to be a distributor and then you can sell it and then you'll get it at cost. And I'm like, okay, if you know you're that overpriced, if that's how you're pitching it, I want nothing to do with you as a company.
Right.
But fast forward, till about a year ago, I decided to try again. And part of what brought me back was I was looking for a healthy shake option. I wanted something that was quick and easy, met specific dietary requirements that would help me, work on certain issues and meet certain goals in my life, both for weight loss and for health.
Right.
And I had tried different things, and frankly, a lot of them tasted like chalk or dirt, or just, they were really, really
gritty.
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were gritty. They were nasty. The consistency was just off. And they just did not provide me with the kind of breakfast experience or lunch experience that I was looking for.
Right.
So a friend of mine, and we did a barter, and I got some Arbonne products from her and loved them. But what happened was when I got down, I finished those off that I had worked on the barter, I was faced with a choice. Do I, fork over the money and start paying full price now?
Mm-hmm.
Do I just fall off the wagon, or do I look for another alternative?
Right.
And I resisted. I didn't really want to pay the money for it. But then I, went off program, and I've just been a mess the last couple of months. I'm like, this isn't good. Plus, I had really gotten to a point where I loved the simplicity of it. It was fitting into my lifestyle. It was meeting other needs.
Sure.
And I just knew that there were no alternatives that really met my standards. And so I called my girlfriend. I called my girlfriend who sold it, and I ordered a bag of chocolate shake mix and a box of fizzy sticks. So they're just little. Sorry, I had to bring visual aids.
That's a technical term.
They're little envelopes like this. That's what they're called.
Okay.
No, they're called energy fizz sticks.
Exactly.
There's no Y.
And I call
energy fizz sticks. We don't call them fizzy sticks. But you basically, they're pre-sized, so you can dump the whole thing into, a bottle of water, and it makes it not quite taste carbonated, but for someone who's trying to get rid of a bad soda habit, it's a reasonable alternative.
Sure.
So I ordered those 2 products, and out of the goodness of her heart, my girlfriend offered me her 35% discount, which was really nice and generous of her. And I said, sure. So what do I owe you? $100. And I'm sitting there going, $100? There's nothing I buy at the grocery store. No 2 products that I buy when I'm, planning meals and serving my family of 6. There are no 2 things in any combination that I buy that equal $100. And I sat there going, thank goodness we were texting, so I didn't say anything rude to her. But it was this, I know. Sorry, this is our episode. We get super personal in real life. This is how I reacted.
Oh crap, delete. Type.
Okay, and let's be honest, that is one of the side benefits of texting and emailing is that you have a choice. You have a choice. You can think, before you hit send. You can delete before you hit send, and you need to do that.
So the reality is you paid the $100. Yeah,
I did.
Regardless.
Because I knew there was no other company that could provide me with the quality, the convenience, and the taste that I wanted. I have not found anything out there that meets those criteria. And I reached a point where I said, I will fork over the top dollar and I will pay $100 for, 30 shakes and 30 fizzy drinks. And because there's no other alternative, and I want that experience.
So in Vicky's mind, in the buying consumer's mind, they created a USP. No one else delivered the healthy alternative with great taste that fit her needs. They filled that need.
And I looked. I did my research. I tried, other products.
Well, the question is, are you filling that need? Are you creating like the iPhone, right?
There's another example.
One of my favorite lines is from a past guest we've had on the show. And in their podcast, Nice Guys on Business with Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner, one of the interview questions they ask is, do you have an iPhone or something inferior? I gotta admit, I stole it. I totally stole that from Doug or from Strickland. I forget which one said it first, but regardless, it's a great quote and it's funny. And humor obviously binds people together, and the whole iPhone 10 coming out now, it's like,
with the release of that last month, there's been a ton of talk about it, and I definitely see the parallels. Dave Tournier did a Facebook Live about it not that long ago, and there are parallels in the events industry.
Absolutely.
Are you going to be that company that provides that top level experience, whether it be in a product form like my Arbonne example, and yes, the iPhone is a product, but to me, there's also so much customer service and support that goes along with that, that it's product and experience. So I think both of those are fairly good analogies to what we do. Are you going to be that company?
iPhone creates gotta have it. People will drop whatever they're doing. They will go stand in line, or they'll go online and order right away. And it's $1,000. And I see people commenting online about $1,000 for an iPhone. Are you flipping kidding me? You know, and all this stuff.
Which is the same thing as $1,000 for some protein shake mix and some, you know, carbonated fruity water. Or is it $5,000 for a videographer or $3,000 for a DJ or whatever it is?
Right.
People have this idea in their mind of what something should cost. Yeah. And whatever that is, whatever they get that number from, it's not been $1,000 for a phone.
Right.
Or $100 for 2 grocery store items.
So here's the reality though. If you break that out over a 2-year contract, how much is that iPhone costing you? The brand new, gotta have an iPhone? $10. $10 a week. That's it. For something you use on a regular basis that improves your life, well, some would say not improves your life, depending on how often you use it, but to keep you connected to the world and something you touch. I mean, how many times a day do you touch your iPhone? I mean, there's a joke there, but I'll be good. That's important. Okay, that it's only $10 a week. It's nothing. Nothing.
Okay, that totally sounds doable to me. And I suppose if I did the math on how many shakes I could make, and how many meals, if I did it that way,
part of sales.
You just made it make sense to me.
Part of sales is breaking it down to the ridiculous. Be like, hello, why would you not do this? It makes sense, you know? And so the other thing to create gotta have is what has iPhone done? What has Arbonne done? They've innovated to what people love. I talked about this. Remember, we talked about this in Roar, Mobile Beat Las Vegas in 2020. Mobile Vegas 20. MBLV 20, we talked about that with Roar. And how companies innovate to what people love. Harry Beckwith said it in Selling the Invisible. And so, for example, let me throw one out there real quick, just for the event.
And I remembered one from Event Related.
All right, so why don't you hit that one first? Hit the one Event Related first.
Well, no, because as soon as you said that, it reminded me of the example, because I think you put it in your presentation, that time that we were speaking in Phoenix, and we walked by that bakery that had the cupcake ATM.
Yeah.
And I was like,
sprinkles.
Okay, talk about, you know, innovation to what people want. Instant gratification. I'm hungry for a fresh baked cupcake, and I can get one even if the bakery's closed.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. No, not really in line with my healthy eating Arbonne regimen,
no, not really.
but it does. It serves an immediate need in my life at times.
And so the other way you can innovate to what people love, take what you have existing in your business and now innovate to what people love, whether that's offering a new service. Maybe you jumped on the bandwagon like I did years ago and became a licensed minister in my state. Or many people now are doing motion monograms at events. Many disc jockeys, planners, venues are doing motion monograms. So the beautiful thing about some of these projectors that offer the capability to do motion monogram is that they also have an app. And ironically enough, on the app on the iPhone, I can go from my phone and now show live video stream of the dance floor or whatever's happening now right to the projector that's shooting. And we did that 3 weeks ago now, August 26th. And I knew my client. I knew them ahead of time, knew that she would love it. And all of a sudden, I handed my phone to my assistant, went, here you go. She walked out, shot video. And oh my gosh, look! You know, the bride's reacting like that.
Yep.
You're innovating. Find ways to innovate.
So let's sum up the lessons here. You've got to, think about how you think when you're buying something, especially if it's something new. What's your approach? Where do you get those numbers in your head about how much something should or shouldn't cost?
Absolutely.
And then flip it when you're in your business mode. How can you break it down for people and make it less scary and make it, something that they can go, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. Or just provide them with enough evidence, enough value that they recognize they can't buy this somewhere else.
Ask yourself, if you were the consumer, how would you want to be treated? If you were the consumer of your service, what would the perfect solution look like for you? Yeah. And then provide that.
How do you make it make sense?
And then justify.
Sometimes it's the justification. It's that breaking it down to $10 a day.
Right.
So in our business, maybe you talk about
a week.
Well, a week. Excuse me. Yes.
I'm like $10 a day. How much?
Sorry,
is Apple charging?
I was doing the math on my Arbonne meals in a day because I bought a month's worth. So yeah.
No.
But think about that. So maybe it's a matter of explaining it in different terms. Yeah. Creating a pricing, a payment plan with them, or breaking it down into something that, thinking about it in a per person, or comparing it to the overall budget, or something mathematical that can make it make sense for those who think like that.
Yeah.
And then something experiential for those who think like that.
So don't let the prejudge of Shake Mix or a phone allow you to determine your pricing. Allow the value of what it brings to someone else's life determine your pricing. That's the key point. Thanks so much for watching Creating Connections Podcast, episode 132. I am Mitch Taylor.
And I'm Vicki Musney.
We provide personal solutions through understanding people better. We'll see you next time.
Have a great week.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Creating Connections podcast with Gittimer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor and Certified Personality Trainer Vicki Musney. For more information on providing personal solutions through understanding people better, visit creatingconnections.biz.